In the heart of a quiet valley lay the village of Brookhaven, surrounded by meadows, rivers, and rolling hills. The villagers were simple folk farmers, shepherds, and craftsmen who lived by the rhythm of the seasons. At the edge of Brookhaven, there was a small farm belonging to Mr. Harris, a kind old farmer with silver hair and a back bent from decades of labor. He had no children of his own, but he loved to teach the children of the village about the land, the crops, and the lessons nature whispered. One bright spring morning, two village boys, William and Henry, came to visit him. William was cheerful and curious, eager to learn. Henry, though clever, was often restless and impatient, always searching for shortcuts. "Good morning, boys." Mr. Harris greeted them warmly, waving from his garden. "Today, I have something special for you." From his pocket, he pulled out two shiny seeds, smooth and brown, small enough to fit on a fingertip. He handed one seed to William and the other to Henry. "These seeds," he said, "hold within them the power to grow into strong, tall trees. But their fate will depend on how you care for them. Plant them today, and in time, you'll see what choices bring forth." The boys looked at their seeds with wide eyes. "Will they really become trees?" Henry asked skeptically. "Yes," Mr. Harris nodded. "But not overnight. It will take time, patience, and care. You must water them, protect them, and trust the process." Planting the seeds. The boys ran home, excited. William carefully dug a small hole near his cottage, placed his seed inside, and covered it with soft soil. He fetched water in a clay pot and poured it gently over the spot. Every morning after, William visited the patch. He cleared away weeds, watered the soil, and watched eagerly for signs of life. Weeks passed before a tiny green sprout poked through, his heart filled with joy. Henry, however, was less patient. He tossed his seed into a patch of dry soil behind his shed and forgot about it for days. When he remembered, he splashed too much water at once, then neglected it again. He often poked the ground to see if the seed had sprouted, disturbing it instead of letting it grow. "Why bother waiting?" Henry muttered. "If it doesn't grow fast, what's the point?" By midsummer, William's sprout had grown into a small but sturdy sapling with tender leaves reaching for the sun. Villagers passing by admired it. "Well done, William," they said. "You've planted a future tree that will give shade and fruit one day." William smiled shyly. He knew the sapling was still fragile, but he cared for it diligently, watering, placing small sticks to guard it, and clearing stones around its roots. Henry's patch, however, remained bare. He scowled each time he passed it. "That seed must have been weak," he grumbled. "Or perhaps Mr. Harris tricked us." When William encouraged him, Henry snapped. "Why waste my time on something that doesn't even show itself? I'd rather play." The seasons of growth. The years rolled on. William's sapling grew taller, its trunk thickening, its branches spreading. Birds began to rest in its shade, chirping happily in the mornings. When autumn came, golden leaves fluttered down, painting the ground in color. William worked hard, but he never forgot to tend his tree. Sometimes storms bent its branches, sometimes insects gnawed its leaves, but he stayed patient. He sought advice from Mr. Harris, who reminded him gently, "Life is like this tree, William. Storms will come, challenges will test you, but if you remain steady and keep caring for your roots, you will stand strong." Henry, meanwhile, had no tree. His seed had withered in the ground from neglect. He laughed it off at first, saying, "I didn't want a tree anyway." But whenever he passed William's growing oak, a flicker of regret crossed his face. The test of storms. One night, when the boys were nearly grown into young men, a fierce storm swept through Brookhaven. Winds howled, rain lashed, and trees bent under the force of nature. William rushed outside to shield his oak, tying its trunk to sturdy stakes, covering its roots with extra soil to keep it firm. By morning, many small plants in the village had been destroyed, but William's oak, though shaken, still stood its roots deep, its trunk strong from years of care. Henry stood beside him, staring at the oak with awe. "How did it survive?" he asked. William looked at him kindly. "Because I tended it every day, Henry. Storms cannot uproot what has been nurtured with patience." The fruit of patience. Years passed. The oak grew into a mighty tree, its branches stretching wide, its roots anchoring deep. Children played in its shade. Birds built nests. Travelers rested beneath it. In summer, its cool shadow gave relief. In autumn, its acorns fed squirrels and deer. William, now a grown man, was respected in the village not only for his hard work but for his steady character. People often said, "He is like his tree, strong, reliable, and giving." Henry, though still clever, often complained of bad luck. "Why do things not work out for me?" he asked one day. Mr. Harris, now older and slower, smiled gently at him. "Henry, do you remember the seed I gave you long ago?" Henry looked down, ashamed. "Yes, I wasted it." The old farmer nodded. The seed was not weak. It was the same as William's. But your choices shaped its fate. Life is like that seed. With care, patience, and discipline, it grows into greatness. Without them, it withers before it can bloom. Henry listened silently. The truth stung, but it also awakened something inside him. That evening, Henry sat beneath William's oak tree, watching children laugh as they played around it. He placed his hand on the rough bark and whispered, "This could have been mine too." William sat beside him. "It's never too late, Henry. You may not grow an oak like this now, but you can still plant something new. The harvest depends on the effort we choose to give, no matter when we begin." Henry nodded slowly, for the first time truly understanding the teaching. That night, Mr. Harris gathered the villagers and told them the tale of the two seeds. One seed was tended with care, patience, and discipline. The other was left to chance and neglect. The difference was not in the seed, but in the choices made. He looked around at the faces of young and old alike. So it is with our lives. Each of us holds seeds of potential, our talents, our duties, our paths. If we nurture them with steady effort, they grow into strength and wisdom. If we ignore them, they fade away. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, "A person becomes what he chooses to nurture. By discipline and effort, one rises. By neglect, one falls." William looked at his tree with gratitude. Henry, though regretful, silently vowed to change. And in the years that followed, whenever a new child in Brookhaven was given a seed to plant, they remembered the story of William and Henry. The story of two seeds and two choices. Moral: life is like a seed. With patience, discipline, and effort, it grows into strength and purpose. Neglect leads to emptiness. Our choices shape our destiny.